Gentlemen, the world has just been stunned by The Rock. Over the course of several decades, Dwayne Johnson has been the epitome of muscularity, power, and dominance in the entertainment industry. For all intents and purposes, this is the individual who has made a living by being more important than life itself. Not too long ago, however, he made an appearance at the Venice Film Festival, and his followers were unable to believe what they were witnessed. After losing 60 pounds of that iconic mass, The Rock appeared to have undergone a complete transformation, appearing slimmer and more lean, and almost instantly the internet went completely insane. Memes, conspiracy theories, and even health scares were constantly being circulated by individuals. But here's where things get interesting. Last but not least, The Rock has disclosed the genuine reality that lies behind this transformation. Just believe me when I say that it is much more profound, much more emotional, and much more shocking than anyone could have possibly anticipated. It is possible that this is one of the most audacious moves he has ever made in his entire career. Continue to be with me because I am going to explain everything in detail, including the rumors and speculation, the rigorous training and diet, the emotional significance of this transformation, and the reasons why this moment has the potential to completely transform The Rock's legacy for all time, for all eternity. The scene is about to be set. Film festival held in Venice. The red carpet is lined with A-list celebrities, the cameras are flashing, and everything is looking equally glamorous as it always does. After that, The Rock makes his entrance. But let me tell you something. Indeed, he does not resemble The Rock, who we have known for many years. A physique that is not towering and weighs 300 pounds. On the contrary, he appears to be almost unrecognizable, with a more slender face and a leaner build, around 240 pounds. 60 pounds have been lost. For example, it would be the same as if Superman suddenly appeared wearing Clark Kent's suit. They didn't waste a single second on the internet. Almost immediately, photos went viral. Wait, what happened to The Rock was the question that people thought. And because we are living in an age of instant gratification, the theories began to spread at a rate that was unprecedented. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the uncontrollable reaction of the internet. The jokes were on one side of the argument. A number of individuals are tweeting, "The Rock turned into the..." Someone else remarked, "Bro went from being a Black Adam to being a Slim Adam." Timeless humor from the internet. On the other hand, there were many valid concerns that were raised. Supporters were concerned about his health. Some people were under the impression that he was concealing a serious illness. Others were convinced that he had ended his use of steroids. Some people even suggested something extremely extreme, such as the blockage of arteries. In addition, let's face it, when a celebrity makes such a significant change to their appearance, people immediately assume the worst. On the other hand, it seemed as though everyone had a theory and everyone wanted to be the first to call it. However, behind the memes and speculation, there was a genuine sense of confusion because when someone like The Rock, whose entire identity is tied to size and strength, suddenly looks different, people don't know how to process it. Therefore, the memes and speculation were not the only things that caused confusion. The thing is as follows. The Rock is not merely another well-known actor. Over the course of several decades, his body has been an integral part of his brand. Give it some thought. From his early days in the WWE as the People's Champion, to his role as the Scorpion King, to his dominance in the Fast and Furious franchise, the individual has always been marketed as the most powerful individual in the room. His gym posts on Instagram have become legendary. His immoral meals became famous. In essence, he is the embodiment of the concepts of perseverance, self-control, and outworking everyone else's energy. So it wasn't just a surprise to the fans when they saw him in a smaller size. The brand that they had known for a very long time appeared to have undergone a transformation overnight. It is because of this that the response was so strong. The appearance was not the only factor. Identity was the topic at hand. To compare it to Batman without his cape, The Rock is like Batman without his mask. Following several weeks of rumors and speculation, The Rock, at long last, addressed the most important issue. He did not avoid the attack. He did not attempt to sugarcoat the situation. The truth was disclosed by him. And the fact of the matter is that this transformation was done on purpose. Each pound that he lost was meticulously calculated. It wasn't a sickness. He was not concealing himself. In addition, he was not in the least bit losing his edge. No way. I made this choice based on my career in order to prepare for his role as the mixed martial arts MMA legend Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine, which is one of the most personal, raw, and demanding roles of his life. He decided to lose weight. For The Rock, this was not merely another role that would bring in money. To put it another way, this was about putting yourself in the shoes of another person, a person whose life story is dark, complicated, and emotional. To accomplish this task successfully, he needed to undergo a complete transformation. For those of you who are unaware of the identity of Mark Kerr, this is an essential fact to know. During the early stages of mixed martial arts, Kerr was a genuine beast. Known as the Smashing Machine, he won the heavyweight tournament of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, twice. On the other hand, his story was not solely about victories. In addition to this, he struggled with addiction to painkillers and the harsh reality of what the fight world can do to a person. In his life, he has experienced both triumph and tragedy. In addition, in order for The Rock to play him, he couldn't simply show up looking like a Hollywood action figure. He needed to have the appearance and the feel of a genuine fighter from that era, slenderer, more resentful, and more human. It was for this reason that the transformation was essential. We had to reduce the size. Authenticity was more important than aesthetics in this case. How exactly did he manage to pull it off? 160 pounds of muscle and mass have been lost. For a man like The Rock, that requires an incredible amount of self-control. The diet comes first. Are you familiar with those infamous cheat meals that consisted of stacks of pancakes and sushi? Those were no longer available. A strict calorie deficit was what was required instead. Each and every meal was recorded, weighed, and measured thoroughly. An abundance of lean protein, carbohydrates that are under control, and almost no processed foods. Basically eating like a mixed martial arts fighter who is trying to lose weight as opposed to a Hollywood star who is trying to bulk up for a blockbuster film. After that comes the training. Pure bodybuilding, heavy lifts, isolation work, and a constant pursuit of size are the typical components of The Rock's workout routine. For this, however, he changed the course of events. More cardiovascular exercise, conditioning, high-intensity interval training, fight drills, and other activities that led to rapid calorie burning and improved endurance. He wasn't working out to look good in front of the camera. He was working on his motions to become more combative. Additionally, he covered the topic of gut health, which was a surprising revelation. He acknowledged that for the very first time, he began to concentrate on feeling good on the inside rather than merely looking good on the outside from the outside. That represents a significant mental shift for someone whose identity has always been connected to their size. The fact that the truth completely dispelled the rumors is something that I find to be very fascinating. "Oh, he must be sick," people said to each other. "It's not true. He's finally gone off steroids." That's not the case. He's totally losing his mojo. Once more, the truth is that this conversation was all about respect. Respecting the role, respecting Mark Kerr's story, and demonstrating that he was capable of transforming himself, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally, will be extremely important. If we are being completely honest, that is even more impressive than simply putting on weight for another action movie, because it takes guts, humility, and courage to lose weight at the age of 52 when your body has been accustomed to a single identity for decades, and when you have been trying to lose weight for decades. In addition, The Rock has a strong personal connection to this role. It was one of the most emotionally charged experiences he has ever had in his professional life. Give it some thought. In contrast to the safe zone of blockbuster action movies, in which he is always the hero and always invincible, he is now playing a man who struggled, who fell, and who was vulnerable. He is stepping away from the safe zone. That is an enormous leap. As a result, the response has been outrageous. The Rock's performance at the Venice Film Festival was met with a standing ovation that lasted for 15 minutes. It is 15 minutes. It is not possible for people to clap for such a long time unless they are deeply moved. When it came to The Rock, that moment was about more than just the role. The goal was to demonstrate to himself and the rest of the world that he is more than just a muscular individual. At the same time that he is a storyteller and an actor, he may even be a candidate for awards. The memes continued to circulate in the meantime. About the Pebble, people continued to make jokes. In his TikToks, he compares his previous physique to his current one. And this is the most exciting part. The Rock went ahead and confronted it head on. He has a sly sense of humor, laughed about it, and accepted it because he is aware that at the end of the day, the work speaks louder than the memes. Your ability to strike a balance between being self-aware and being extremely serious about your craft. Because of this, people continue to love him. Memes are entertaining, but the transformation is the one that has become legendary. As for the takeaway from all of this, here it is. The weight loss that The Rock has experienced is not just about his appearance. The goal is to demonstrate that it is possible to reinvent oneself at any point in one's life. He is 52 years old. Coasting was an option for him. He had the ability to continue working on the same films, collecting the same checks, and having no change whatsoever. Nevertheless, he chose to take a chance. He left himself open to attack. On top of that, he demonstrated that even when the entire world believes that they know you, you can still surprise them. What a motivating statement that is, considering that if The Rock is able to break out of his comfort zone and undergo such a transformation, then what is preventing us from doing the same in our own lives instead? What comes after this? Isn't that the question that everyone is asking? Will he avoid gaining weight for a while? When he returns for another Fast and Furious movie, will he put on some muscle? Is it possible that this transformation has created the opportunity for Dwayne Johnson to enter an entirely new era, a film in which he seeks critical acclaim rather than merely commercial success at the box office? In all honesty, it could be either one. He continues to be one of the most bankable stars in the Hollywood industry. However, he has proved that he is capable of doing serious, dramatic work as well. There is a possibility that The Rock is about to enter his most intriguing phase to date. First, let me tell you the shocking truth. To lose weight, The Rock did not do so because he was required to. Because he desired to, he went ahead and did it. Because he had faith in a narrative that was more significant than himself. There is a possibility that this decision will alter our perception of him for all time. With all of the memes, rumors, and ovations, there is one thing that is abundantly clear. This Rock is still known as The Rock, simply a new version of it, an iteration that is developing, expanding, and demonstrating that he is not yet finished surprising us. What are your thoughts on the matter? Would you prefer to see Rock regain his bulk and become the action hero that we are all accustomed to seeing, or do you prefer him looking leaner? Your thoughts are welcome in the comments section. Anyway, this brings the video for today to a close. You should make sure to subscribe for future celebrity videos, and you should also make sure that the post notification bell is turned on so that you do not miss any future uploads. We'll catch up with you in the next one. Until then,